Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast, where you'll learn how to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit. No influencer status necessary. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and we're currently in a series about what to expect throughout different stages of your summit. Today in episode 77, we're breaking that down to chat about what to expect the week that your summit is actually live. We're going to cover what to expect as far as how much you'll be working, what you'll see with registrations and sales, as well as what to expect with customer support. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to my free masterclass covering my 3-part framework to triple your monthly revenue with a virtual summit while building your email list for free. In this class, we cover the secret to creating a plan you can actually follow to make your summit happen. This is perfect if you've been saying that you're too busy for a summit. We'll cover how to host a profitable event and land expert speakers without a huge audience of your own, and how to use the 3-part profitable summit system to triple your monthly revenue and the size of your email list with a summit. Join this class at summithosthangout.com/class. The first thing I want you to expect for the week of your summit is potentially working longer hours than what you're used to working. If you're someone who already works all day, every day, this might not apply to you. But for example, for myself, I work about 5 to 6 hours per day, and I definitely put in 8 hours or more per day while my summits are going on. So I want you to expect that going in and plan for it in your schedule, whether that means extra childcare, or having someone bring you meals, or ordering more meals in, or having meals prepped. All different kinds of things like that are things to consider. The biggest consideration for me is that childcare, right? So there's a few reasons that you should expect to work some longer hours than normal. First, you'll really want to be around while presentations are going on. So if you have 8 hours of presentations per day, you'll probably be around for 10 hours per day. This is especially true if your presentations are live or if you'll have a chat box for your presentations, which I really recommend. Although I will say that the chat box is something you could outsource if you wanted to. You could have a team member who'd be able to pop in and answer questions in there, monitoring the chat, or letting you know if something pops up that they need your help with. Maybe it's a question they need help answering, the speaker didn't show up, so you need to be in there interacting, something like that. Also, along with monitoring the chat, you'll also want to be monitoring the Facebook group and potentially your inbox while the presentations are happening to make sure everyone is able to access each presentation. Because if, maybe a presentation doesn't publish when it's supposed to, those are the 2 places that everyone's going to let you know. And the faster you can fix it, the fewer emails you'll have to answer. And then last, you'll want to make sure everything is working for each presentation. So, it's ideal if you can catch any mistakes before your attendees do, so you don't have to deal with those emails, and so they don't have to worry about sending them, right? Jump in, be available to make sure that, maybe your presentations are releasing every hour on the hour, that you're able to be there, paying attention, making sure everything's working as expected. Along with that, you're also going to be handling other customer service, and we'll have more on that coming a little bit later in this episode. You'll be handling speaker questions, and you'll be keeping things organized and just running smoothly in general. With all that, I want you to say, don't be surprised if you find yourself exhausted after summit week. If you've ever had post-launch blues, or you've gone through a launch and just been exhausted afterwards, kind of expect the same thing for your summit, especially if it's a 5-day summit with 30 or more speakers. You'll probably be tired afterwards from managing it all. I will say it never hurts to build in a little time for yourself to just step away from your inbox, step away from your task list, and just take a minute to look at and enjoy the really incredible and transformational event that you created. Because if you don't, maybe have a to-do list, like a to-do list item that you check off every day. If you don't do that, you might not do it. And I do think it's important because you work months and put in lots of hours making this summit happen. And I do want you to take the time to enjoy what you created. And then the last thing I want to mention here is just keep your calendar clear of anything else during the week of your summit. I don't care if it's a dentist appointment. I don't care if it's a 15-minute connection call with somebody. Really treat this as an out-of-office week for yourself. So for me, my calendar is blocked. I even send kind of out-of-office messages to my retainer clients. So I don't pretend that I'm on vacation or something. I say, hey, I have this thing going on. But I let them know this is basically an out of office time. I won't be responding to messages quickly. I won't be completing tasks. So do those things for yourself too. And if you do somehow have a spare few minutes to go in and handle some client work or answer some extra emails, engage on social media, that's great. You can do it. I just don't want you to plan for it. The next thing I want you to expect throughout the week of your summit is that registrations don't and should not stop once your summit starts. So day one will likely be one of your biggest registration days. As attendees are sharing how excited they are, you'll have speakers remembering to share one last time or maybe the first time, and you'll be showing up and be really excited on social media, and other people will see that and respond to that when maybe they didn't before. So all of those things will come together to really create an influx of registrations and sales on that first day. I've also had people in the Summit Host Hangout Facebook group ask if they should disable registrations once the summit starts. So like day one of the summit, people can't register anymore. And my answer to that is absolutely not. Do not disable registrations because you'll lose out on a ton and people that want to sign up will lose out on a ton. Registrations and sales will continue all throughout your summit. I actually leave my registrations open until my All Access Pass cart closes. Because, if someone's registering, they're seeing on their registration page that the date's already passed, right? They're registering to see if there's a way they can still get access. And yes, there is if they purchase the All Access Pass. So once someone registers, I don't send anything special. They just pick up in the emails that I'm currently sending out to people registered, pitching the All Access Pass, and that's okay. They can choose to buy or not buy. This is the period where your conversion rates for your All Access Pass will actually start to rise. So there are people signing up for the summit late who want access to the videos they missed, so the likelihood that they'll sign up right away are a little bit higher. And the attendees who didn't originally purchase right when they signed up, they're seeing how awesome these presentations are. They're seeing other attendees talking in your Facebook group about, really exciting bonuses you have in your All Access Pass, and they're deciding to join later on. So this is definitely a really exciting time and a really exciting thing to see. This still takes me off guard every time, like how much the registrations and sales increase once the summit has already started. It's really exciting. It's an exciting thing to be able to watch. The next thing I want you to expect during the week of your summit is basically all the customer service. Like if someone isn't doing this for you, this is where the bulk of your work will be spent during summit week, and it can seriously overtake you if you let it. It did to me for my first couple summits. It started to overtake me with my most recent one until my VA was like, get out of the inbox. Like it was literally to the point where she would send me a message when I was allowed to go in my inbox. Basically her saying, hey, I was just in there. I took care of everything. Now you can go in, if you really need to, or maybe there's an email I can't answer that you can jump in and take care of. If you can outsource your inbox, I really recommend it. But you're going to have a lot of questions, both in your inbox and in your Facebook community or whatever community platform you've chosen for your summit. And some examples of the most common ones are, where do I find the videos? Is this video not available anymore? Can I have an extension on how long the videos are available? I can't log in to access my All Access Pass. I can't find what I'm looking for inside my All Access Pass. Like any question that you can imagine will be asked, even if you make it really, really simple. The questions really will feel like they're endless, but most people are going to be very well-meaning. They're just excited for this event you've put on, and they want to get what they thought they were going to get, right? So just keep in mind, everyone, for the most part, means very well. To help with this and to reduce the amount of customer service you need to do, first, choose summit tech that is easy for your attendees to use. So I think it is really tempting for us to choose tech that's easy for us to set up, but then the attendees suffer because they're like, wait, I can't find anything. I don't know how to do anything. I have to sign up 3 times just to get my free ticket, and then I'm supposed to purchase this other thing through another sign up form. Like it can get really intense. So choose tech that's easy for your attendees to use. I also want you to repeat instructions everywhere. The best example I can think of for this is your summit schedule and the links. Have it like so crystal clear where someone should go to get links to the presentations and to see the schedule. And really, if you can have it in several places, do it. Each day of my summit, I have this schedule page that has all the links and of course the full schedule. I post it in the Facebook group. I email it to them, and people still have questions. So you really can't put it in too many places. And then the last thing you can do to really help is create canned responses. So as questions start coming in, or maybe go back and listen to the questions I just listed off, create canned responses, load them up in Gmail. So all you or an assistant have to do when one of these questions come in is hit that canned response, personalize the first name. If there's an extra question in there, maybe answer it and hit send. It will save you so much time. I do want to say that if you're taking care of your own customer service, you need to limit how often you're allowed to check your email. So it's not open all day with you like refreshing or trying to answer questions right away. That's all you'll do. So for example, maybe you decide that you're allowed to check your email once every 2 hours, or you check it right when you sit down to work and right before, you get up to be off work for the day. Even I have a little more trouble letting go of obsessively checking the Facebook group. It's easier for me to let go of the inbox, but I do have trouble with the Facebook group because if someone posts something nasty, for who knows what reason, everyone can see it. So I have been able to step away from the inbox. The Facebook group does still give me a little bit of trouble. So I'm not judging you if you can't, close your Facebook group, but if you can convince yourself to do that, definitely do it. Check in every couple hours and give yourself time to breathe and focus on something else. I do want to say, and I kind of mentioned this before, but I just want to give it its own attention, the attention it needs, is when you notice a question being asked over and over, it's time to see what you can do about it. So for example, can you make it easier to find the links to presentations? Can you add the schedule link in one more place? Or can you add the links to the presentations directly on the schedule page? Do you need to make the time zone that your summit times are based on more clear? If people are like, this should be starting right now, and you're like, no, it's starting in an hour. Is it really clear what time zone all these times are listed in? Do you need to add another login link so people can easily access your All Access Pass? This is an issue I had my first year is, if someone went to the homepage for the summit, it was the registration page, and I didn't have anywhere to help them log in to access the All Access Pass. So what I had to do was add a login link to the footer. It's really simple, right? But if I wouldn't have been listening, and paying attention to this question that kept coming up, I wouldn't have noticed that issue and fixed it. And then another thing, do you need to make it more clear that your fast action All Access Pass offer is only available for a short time after registration? If there's people saying, wait, where did this $47 offer go? Now it's $97. Well, do you need to make it more clear that that was only available for, let's say, 20 minutes? Do you have a really clear countdown timer? Are the prices maybe the regular price is crossed out and then it has your discount price? Can you make it any more clear that that's only a limited time offer? So part of helping with customer service is also going to be handling people asking for extensions and discounts and other types of special treatment. And this is a big thing. You will deal with this. So we're going to talk about that in the next episode. I kind of thought, it gives me enough of a headache that I thought it probably deserved its own episode. So we'll talk about that coming up next. Another thing I want you to expect during the week of your summit is for your attendees to be excited. They will be really pumped. But this is also the biggest thing that causes all the customer service we just talked about. People are excited. They want to learn. They want to take action. And when they run into a question or issue, you're going to hear about it right away because of that excitement. If you can take even 2 minutes per day to read through breakthrough moments happening in your Facebook group though, and in your inbox, you're going to love what you see. It's going to help that exhaustion you're feeling from handling all the customer support, seeing the good things that people are saying, the breakthroughs they're having, the progress they're making while your summit is still happening is so rewarding. This is what makes everything worth it. This is also where your speakers will start to get really excited as well. So when there are attendees watching their videos and commenting in the chat or posting their biggest takeaway in the Facebook group, it makes your summit really stand out from all the other ones out there as far as your speakers are concerned. Speakers are not used to getting feedback and positive feedback while your summit is happening. So if you can get that for them, that is really, really great. So I want to talk about a couple ways you can help that along. First is have your speakers include specific action steps at the end of their presentations so your attendees know how to take action because your speakers have it right there for them in the presentation. If it's too late and you're listening to this after presentations are done or, after you've already given them, outlines for presentations without including action steps, you can always make this yourself. Have a little action guide that people get with the free registration to your summit that has action steps outlined that you create for each presentation. It's more work for you, but it will help your attendees take action and get excited and share that where other attendees can see it as well as the speakers. I also recommend that you have a thread for your attendees to post their biggest takeaway in from each presentation. So I have done this live for a couple summits. My third summit, I think it was, I just didn't feel like it. I didn't do it. I wish I would have. But for all my other summits, I did do this, which is after each presentation, I jump in the Facebook group and I'm like, how awesome was that presentation by so-and-so? My biggest takeaway was blank. What was yours? And that gets all your attendees jumping in and talking about what they loved about the speaker. You can tag that speaker in it. And here's this just like big thread full of love for each speaker. And they love the heck out of that. So there's a couple things I recommend that you do to, help this engagement along, help your speakers and attendees get really excited for your event. So overall, the biggest thing I want you to take away from this episode is that you need to clear your calendar during your summit so you can support your attendees and your speakers show up as well without just totally exhausting yourself. Like, unless you have everything perfectly outsourced, in which case, like, major props to you, you will have your hands in a little bit of everything, and you don't need anything extra pulling your attention away. Like I mentioned this earlier, but I even treat Summit Week as an out of office week for as far as like retainer clients, calls, my general inbox goes. So give yourself the time and space you need to actually enjoy what you created. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. For show notes and resources mentioned, head to summithosthangout.com/077. In the next episode, we'll chat about what to do when an attendee asks for special treatment, which will happen, so be sure to tune in for that. Before you go, remember to check out my free masterclass covering the 3-part framework to triple your monthly revenue with the virtual summit while building your list for free. We cover how to make time for a summit even when your business is already too busy, how to land expert speakers even without a huge audience of your own, and how to use my 3-part profitable summit system. You can join that class at summithosthangout.com/class. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit.